Well, today's another day, and there's the chief in charge. She's back. She says, you gotta get something done. You're taking too long. And she wants my attention. And I fed her. And that's what she's most concerned about. But anyway, today is about the new axle. And there's actually new brake assemblies for electric brakes for two sets or two axles. Can't say two sets of axles because there's only a total of three. And yesterday was a very busy day driving around. First I had to go northbound from where I'm at to pick up that axle plus the brake assembly. And then I had to head south. Well, first northbound was about 40 minutes. And then I came back, dropped off the material, and then I headed back out. And I had to go 45 minutes to 50 minutes south of here to pick up, hopefully, which is all the rest of the C channel that I'll need. Actually, there are 3 lengths here of 20 feet. See, 3 lengths of 20 feet plus the rub rail. And there's the cat. She's following me. She wants me to pet her. But I also picked up 3 lengths of the rub rail, and they are 2 inches by 1/4 inch. And the rub rail will end up going alongside the framing of this. The 4-inch C channel is so that I could finish off from side to side, and then the cross piece. And I got an annoying dog, which no matter how much that neighbor of mine yells at that dumb dog to actually be quiet, it doesn't listen. And I've mentioned it to him quite a few times about it, and he tries his best. That doesn't mean I care for the idea of that dog constantly barking. And it finally stopped. So what I'm going to do now is set this up on the tripod. But before I do, I figured I'd explain what I did here. So because this axle has to be cut to the same size as the rest, I tried to order it the size that I needed. And when you give them a measurement, they want it from outside of the spindle to the outside of the spindle. And I gave them that measurement, which is 88 1/4 inches. So they said that would be a special order. I didn't get a price on what the special order would cost. I didn't feel as though I needed to wait. So I said I'll just take the next size that you have in stock, because they do stock a lot of different axles. And this is a 7,000 pound axle, which goes with the set of leaf springs that I got from them. And it just helps the trailer out a little bit more by an extra 1,000 pounds. So I told him I'll take it as is and that I'll cut it down myself. So what I did was, and I don't know if you can see, but there is the chalk line. And I got the line running right across from one side to the other. And the axle is set from the tube to the line at 6.5 inches. It's hard to see that. I wrote it in that white chalk. And then also I took measurements from the outside of the ridge on the nut to that chalk line, and that's 3 1/4. And then the height of the end of the spindle where the threads are to the floor at 2 5/8. Took all those measurements, so once I'm done cutting the tube and I take off 5 3/4 inch, because that's the difference from what this axle is to the one size that I need, and it came out to where it was 5 3/4. So I'll cut it here at the seam, separate the tube, drill another hole back where it will be out of the way in the same run as that is right now, poke the wires up through, and obviously then weld it up in the new location with all those specs that I just gave you. And then that will be that for that axle, and hopefully I get everything exactly the way I want it. And then what I'll do is I will set the axle up right the way I need it, and I will set the perches that come with it. I will weld them on. But first, the most important part is actually getting that spindle hub assembly where it belongs. So, gave you the rundown, and actually once I go to put the hub, the actual perches on the tube, I might mount. No, I don't think I need to. I don't need to mount them on there. So actually I'll wait. And the weird thing is they didn't give me any nuts for the studs that are sticking out to bolt them on. So when I go back there to get the hubs, I'm going to ask them for them because I think they should come with it. Because I don't have any. I can figure out the size and all. But here's Puss in Boots. She's not giving up. She definitely wants my attention. Right, kitty? Well, Puss in Boots. Yep, there she is. She's happy. She was missing for 5 days, that little devil. I almost thought she was a goner. Pleasantly surprised, she's not. So I'm going to set you up here, and then I'm going to get started on cutting the axle. I think that's a good location for that. And there she is. She's going to help me with her tail. Yep. I'm plugging it in so I don't run out of battery. And I'm going to leave all this here just in case. Right, kitty? Well, and I know as soon as I start this thing up, she'll move out of the way. She doesn't want to get snagged up. She moved already. Smart kitty. Yep. She definitely does not like the sound of the air when I go to put any tool into the air chuck. As soon as she hears that, she takes off because the sound of the air that coming out of that probably just hurts her ears, I would imagine. So I don't lose those measurements, I'm going to write them again, especially this 6.5, make it a little darker. That I'll forget, but 3.25, and that's the lighter side of the 3.25, and this one is a firm 3.25, 2 5/8. Alright, here comes the fun. Hopefully I get it right on the spot. She went after something. Okay. Did not want to get too carried away in rotating this thing because I kind of want to make sure that it stays in the same setting where the wood is in case the concrete floor isn't perfectly flat, which is really good because I know my floor is good. I've taken a level throughout the dimensions of this thing, and no matter where I put that 6-foot level, it seems to be in check. So nevertheless, keeping it in the same area where it is what I want to make sure it stays in. This will help keep the flow of everything, especially when I go to put it back together. Let's see if I have a chisel here, which I do. And I'll put it in the seam. Give it a smack. This way it'll keep me from sliding everything. Nope. Cut this side again. Dang. That's where it should come apart. Freaking thing is ending up all over the place. It's not what I want. It's coming apart. Holy cow, man. Holy cow. Yep, holy cow. Shee! I knew I cut it too. Was going too deep. Well, that's the actual spindle assembly. Now I'm going to mark, I believe, 5 3/4. I wrote it down on a piece of tape and I put it on the tube. Definitely going to clean this up. And obviously, where's the rag? Here's the rag. What a mess. It's a pretty thick tube. Well, it's got to be nothing less than 5/16. If they go by millimeter, who knows, but with the weld that's on there, not that there's a lot on this side because of where I was cutting it, but it looks like 3/8. But nevertheless, they said it's rated at 7,000 pounds, so that's all that matters. 5 3/4. So I'm going to mark 5 3/4. Hopefully this chalk stick will mark. Nope. It's gloss black. Well, I've got something on there. That's so I can get some tape underneath there. Masking tape works well for creating a direct line. Hopefully, square to the tube. Before we go any further, it is at 5 3/4, and I will finish wrapping the tape around. So I'll pretty much do the same thing, and whatever line that is down there, I will do the same thing. See, I'm just glad I finally got it apart. It's weird. I didn't even cut the wire. See, I don't know if you can tell, but that's one square flush cut. Absolutely. See? Square flush. And the tube and the wire. So, I'm going to drill a hole back here somewhere. Yeah, that'll be on the side. You gotta make sure there's enough room for when the U-bolt goes around, that it doesn't get in the way. So I'm gonna match up this hole with whatever drill bit. Ooh, that is pretty thick. Let's see. Definitely is a little bit thicker. Jeez. Quarter inch. Shit, though, I must have 7,000 pound axles because this looks identical to the ones I cut. Matter of fact, I got it out there. I'm gonna bring it in and find out. Let me clean off the burr. This way I know I got an accurate reading. But by George, by golly. Yeah. Jeez. I think they look almost identical. So maybe I got 7,000 pound axles. That's fine. At least I know I'll have the ability, weight-wise. Nice. Oh, I need this one so I can match up a drill bit. Yes, 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 yes. And back in the day, when I was in school, learning to become a machinist tool and die, I actually made this center punch. You know, it's hard to tell, but trust me, I made it. And I still have it to this day. Absolutely. So, then I measure outward. Remove the tape. It'll help keep where I want it. Okay. I'm gonna bring it in about an inch and an eighth, inch and 3/16. Pretty much the same line. Yep. Ooh, would help if I got a drill. Yep, would help. High speed, smaller bit, high speed, bigger bit, slower speed. Remove that. Now I need a little bushing. It's the same on both sides. I'm gonna get a file and remove the burr in there. Take a half round file so you get it nicely done inside. Yep, outside. Nice. You scoop this in there. Splendid thing. Take the tape off. Pull the wire through. Yep. That's for the electric brakes, obviously. So it goes from one side to the other. And staying in the tube, which obviously will protect the wire. Nice. Okay, put that there. Move this out of the way. This out of the way. I'm gonna go put these bits back. Just got them. I don't want to have any issues in losing them. Put the file back. Now I'm going to clean all this up. First I want to see if this will go in there. Proper like. Yep. Like proper like. Can't believe that I still can't get that piece to come off. That's weird. I did cut it. There it is. A rotten little piece. Alright. I gotta change the wheel, the cut-off wheel, to the other one. Yeah, I got these, the Black Hawk. It's for metal and stainless steel. 60 grit. I also got 40 grit. 60 grit is good for this. It's like those little sandpaper things in a circle. I really like these. I think these grind faster and cleaner than your typical grinding wheel. But maybe for the heavy stuff, you have to use the other ones. But I tried them both on a couple of different scenarios, and I really think that these prevail. But that's just me. Once again, I'm not being sponsored by this company, but nevertheless, I like what I like. So I could square it all up and hopefully not have a problem. Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm going to take this rubber grommet out, because I know once I start welding, it might melt it. I know I can get it back in after. I don't think the wire will be an issue. I'll keep moving it just in case. On the line. And we got 6.5. Okay, so far it is running true to the line. And that's where it was before I started cutting. Now, I'm going to set the spindle up. What in the world? Here's the chisel. And I thought I saw something. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure this out, go remeasure a axle, and come up with whatever calculations that I'm supposed to have before I start welding this. So I'm going to put you on pause and go from there. Okay, I am back. And I got the new axle finished. I had to go with the inner length from the inside of the axle to the inside. I matched it up with the ones I already did outside because I don't know for sure if the spindle length is the same on this one as it is on the ones outside. So the safest way to do it, to be accurate, especially when the perches go on, because they all have to line up together, obviously, because it's turning into a triaxle, I went with the inner dimension, which ended up being, I think, 68 3/4. So they are the same, and then I did weld the perches on, as you can tell. So this axle is ready to be installed. Other than putting those on, which are easy enough. But in the meantime, I did mention in the last video that I needed to cut up the 6-inch angle iron as needed from that piece right there, as you can see leaning up against the building. And I might end up using this piece of 6-inch channel. It's probably 40 inches long. It's about the same for that piece down there. And the reason being is that I might need that is because like this piece here is pretty straight. It's a good piece. It just has to be cleaned up. And there's another piece that I cut off that you might be able to tell that's not so straight. Kind of gets a little wampus towards the end. So I'd only be able to use only so much of this piece. The bottom one that you see here is a straight piece. So between the one on the bottom, a part of the one on the top, that might give me the 103 inches that I need to go from that cross piece right there all the way up to this one right here. And obviously I need two of them at 103 inches. So I'm going to have to make up the best pieces I can and to be straight. So if I can't get it out of these three pieces that I already have, then I will have to take one of those or maybe both of them and make what I need so that I can have two equal pieces at 103 inches. And what I'm also going to end up doing is everywhere that there's going to be a hanger, as you see over there, and that style hanger as well, that I'm going to add whatever the width is of that. I'm going to add that 6-inch C-channel to the opposite side to make a nice box so that the area that has to get welded, see if I can zoom in there, as you can see there where the clamp is, because the top of that hanger obviously is wider than the 6-inch C-channel. So to make a nice comfortable area for that to be welded to and to make it stout, that's what I'm going to end up doing. So I'm probably going to end up needing to do that. Take one of those pieces off or both doesn't matter. But at that point, I will definitely have used up the majority of that trailer. Even though I didn't use the 3-inch piece for what I thought, but that 3-inch piece will probably be used to go right down the center of this for the flexion of the trailer, because the trailer, this base part of this trailer is 28 feet long. And then obviously I will be adding the other 4 feet to make it 32 feet. So that being said, most of it, there might only be 10% left of that original red trailer left, which is great. That means I saved myself a lot of money, and that's the name of the game. Utilize what you have so you don't have it go to waste. And because if you try to sell what you had, you never get anything really out of it, especially if you want to get rid of it quick. So I'd rather use what I have and make it work. It's just my time as far as breaking stuff down, but I don't care. At least I get to use it, and then I have very little product left, and then I don't have that stuff hanging around. So that's pretty much going to bring this particular video to a close. And actually I got to put the new little shoes that I ordered for this Ridget on the bottom of this. I had to order 4 new ones because for some reason the other ones just fell apart. So I put them on last night, so this way I don't have to put little pieces of wood underneath the one side to make it level. And as you can tell, I did cut piece of that tube off because I had to add to the new one. But I hope you all liked it. I hope there's some valuable information on there that you can use if you decide to build your own trailer. But in the meantime, I do appreciate it. If you all watch, subscribe, tell a friend, I would appreciate that too. But until the next video, go get something done.